And Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kitshanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu La'asok B'divrei Torah.
Amen.
And we are now on Parshat Truma, having just finished, or at least finished the week of Mishpatim with all those various halachot, etc., and some additional material regarding Israel's stand at Mount Sinai, and they're having said all that the Lord has commanded, we will do and we will hear, those famous words, and the fact that they put do before hear. And I think that as I sort of pondered on those words, to think that part of hearing is being willing to hear, that you will not hear if your heart is not there. And so it has to start with a willingness to hear, and then you can hear. So the fact that they said do before hear meant that they'd already made that commitment, that trust in God to do whatever God said. And that had to precede the actual listening. And the fact is that you can't talk people into observing Torah. You can't talk people into accepting mitzvot if they don't want to. If essentially they don't see it as valid, etc., etc., etc. It's something that has to come deep from inside, and in some ways, that's actually profound and significant, because what it means is that if you in fact do decide to do that, you get all the credit, or certainly 99.9% of the credit, because it had to come from inside of you. At any rate, we stopped at verse 6, and we are talking about the coverings of the tabernacle. Va'asita chamishim karsei zahav, you shall make 50 clasps of gold. V'chibarta et hayeriot isha el achota, and you shall connect the curtains one to the other. Right, literally it means a woman to her sister. Bakrasim, with the clasps. V'haya hamishkan echad, so that the Mishkan becomes one. Let me give you some pictures. Let me see what I can do here to help you see what we're talking about, if I'm able to. There we go. All right. So let me. All right. Here we go. All right. So this is just an overview of all the coverings of the Mishkan, and this is the covering, the inner covering that we're talking about now. And you'll notice that there are 5 curtains that are sewn together, and 5 other curtains that are sewn together. And what we're referring to is these clasps. So let's see if I have another picture to show you the detail. There we go. So there are these loops. This is the Isha al Achota, right? There are similar loops on this side, and they're put together, and that's the point, that it all becomes one long curtain, and this is the way it fits. So what's the significance? Why not just make, why the 5 and the 5, and why the need for these gold, these clasps, and making it like that? So what I want to point out to you is, first of all, 5 and 5, of course, making 10, I think is an indication of the 10 Commandments. By the way, while we're at it, please notice that these sides of the tabernacle are 10 cubits, and this length, from this length, go this way. Let me go back here. The length from this side to this side was 28 cubits. 28 cubits. So what would happen is, and Rashi will explain this a little later on, but what would happen is this would hang on either side. So if this was, I believe, this looks to me, with this distance may have been 10 cubits. This was half a cubit. So 11. So this possibly would then be a cubit and a half on either side. There where you could see that. So going back now to this particular element here, this actually, and I may have to go to a different picture here. Let me see here. Here are the boards. This is what I want you to see. So this here, of course, is the Holy of Holies, and this is the holy area. And you'll notice that those little clasps fit right on top of this. So they demarcate the Holy of Holies from the holy. And then, of course, you have the courtyard of the tabernacle outside the actual building of the tabernacle. As I said also, that this is a representation in a way of the human skull, this being the cranial cavity, and this being the cavity, the area of the mouth and the other orifices within the skull. And that's what this symbolizes. Let's see if we have a little bit more. Yeah, just a sense of how high these things were. I think this is a little bit exaggerated, actually. I think these are actually smaller than people really are. Because if this was 10 cubits, a human being is about 4 cubits. So they'd actually get up to about, if this is the 5 cubit mark here, then a human being would be up to here, approximately there. Okay. Let's take a look. All right, these are more details of the boards, which we already covered elsewhere. So enough of that, but I did want you to see that. And I'll go back in here for a second, right? So that's what we're talking about right now. And we will then move straight on to these curtains, which went right above those other ones. And these curtains were 30 cubits length. 30 cubits in. Not only that, but that you'll look carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There should be 6. 3 and yeah, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are those. And this is how it was going to hang. All right. So this part actually got folded back. But this again would have been on back on the towards the I believe this looks different. This looks like this is I'm pretty sure that this is what happened. Yep, you can see this sticking out a little bit there. So yeah. Similar. I think it's exactly the same picture actually. All right, let me go back into the text. Okay, so taking a look at Rashi here. It's not a big Rashi, as you'll see. This was huge, but right here. Karsei Zahav, and he gives you the French word ferme or something like that in French, and Spongen, which apparently could mean braces in modern German, but you can see it's clasps actually. Umachnisim roshan echad belulaot shebechuberet b'shebechoveret, and one places their head, you know, each one into one of the lulaot would be the loops shebechoveret that are on the edge of the curtains. Zo shebechoveret zo in this particular place of connection. Veroshan echad balulaot shebechoveret zo mechaberet ze. Okay, and he's saying, and then they head into the corresponding right loop, and that connects the two of them, connects the two curtains, just as we saw in the picture. Okay, going on. Let's find it. Here we go. Vasita yiriot izim, and you shall make curtains of goat's hair. Le'ohel al hamishkan, to cover up the Mishkan, right? To serve as a tent for the Mishkan. But in a sense, the idea though is basically that it's serving as a canopy, as a covering. And here we go. Ashte esei yiriot. That means 11 curtains. Ta'aseh otam, you shall make them. Okay, let's take a look here. Right. Yiriot izim, right? Curtains of goat's hair. Minotza shel izim. That means from the hair of goats. Because it just says curtains of goats. That's what it says. So Rashi has to explain that it's from the hair of the goats. Because it could be goat skins, right? One might think it was that. And it wasn't. La'ahel al hamishkan or la'ohel. Let's make sure. Yeah, la'ohel. La'ohel al hamishkan. Right? As a tent for the Mishkan, I would think, right? The fros otan al hiyariot, that is to spread them on the tachtonot, the curtains that were underneath, right? I know I don't have to show you the picture, but I can anyway, just for you to see. So this is it, right? This is the one, and they go on top of that one that I just showed you. And here we go with some more, right? So there are actually various theories as to what the third layer was. Okay. Yep, all these kinds of pictures. Various uh, theories as to what actually happened there. Okay. Going on. Yes. I'll find the place, right? Orech hayeri'ah ha'achat. The length of one curtain, shloshim ba'ama, it is 30 cubits. Remember the other ones, the ones that were underneath were 28 cubits, right? Verochav arba ba'ama, and their width was 4 cubits. Hayiriyah ha'achat, each curtain. Mida achat, exactly the same measurement, la'ashte esrei yiriot, for the 11 curtains. Okay. See what Rashi has to say here, right? Shloshim ba'ama, 30 cubits. Shekeshenoten or kam lerochav hamishkan, so that when he places these curtains across the width of the Mishkan, kamosh natan et harishonot, right? Just as he placed the first ones, nimtzau elu otfot, you find that these, okay, are more right there. There's a remainder of Amamikan of 1 cubit on one side, Amamikan and 1 cubit on the other side. So the math is pretty straightforward. If the undercurtains are 28 and these are 30, and you lay it across the top, then it's going to hang down 1 cubit more on one side and 1 cubit more on the other side. L'chasot achat mihashte amot, right? To cover 1 cubit, right, of the 2 cubits, shenisharu megulot, which would have remained revealed, right, uncovered, min hakrashim, of the boards. V'ha'amah ha'tachtona, and the bottom cubit, right, shel keresh, of the board, she'ein hayeri'ah mechaseh ota, that the cubit, that the curtain does not cover, hi ha'amah hatchuva benekev ha'aden. That is the 1 cubit that is pushed into the hole of the socket. Sheha'adanim, because the adanim, the sockets, govhan ama, their height was 1 cubit. And let me go ahead and show you. Here we go with the boards, right? So these are the sockets that we're talking about. And just to show you how that worked, here we go. See, you can see the sockets more clearly here. So this is 1 cubit high, 1 cubit in the height. Let me see if I may have to, okay, let's go here. See if there's a nice color picture of the sockets. I don't know that I have a better picture of how the boards went into the sockets. Sorry. Trying to see if I can find one. Not there. Let me see if I have something that I can open. Let's just see here if I have it. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Okay. Forgive me. I'm just trying to see what I have. Okay, let's try this. We'll try and see if this will work. I'll need to give you the share. Let's see if no, it's not going to work. Forgive me. I didn't consider this. At any rate, yeah, because I'd love to find the actual picture of the sockets. Interesting. Yeah, that's the one that we got there. I may have to go to the book and find the picture for you. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's not. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, I'll see if I can find a picture for you of that. Let's see, unless I have something else. Let's see here. Let's try that. One moment. Oh, yep. Okay, I can. I'm going to open this and see if I can find it for you. All right. Give me a moment where I'm going to add to the share. Okay. Give me a moment. I'm going to stop this share and share again. Try again. Let's see if this does it. This might be the one. And then go there. Okay, let's see. Give me a moment. Let's see if this does it. May not. This may be the one that oh, here we go. That's what I wanted you to see. Here we go. So here, you can see this, right? Yes? So here are the
Yeah.
sockets. You see a picture of them there. And this cubit. This is cubit and long. This is basically a mortise. This is a tenon, and this would be the mortise, right? And there are two of them. Right? So this is okay. So this fits together. Let's see if I have another picture of it. Yeah, just so it stands on these sockets, and that way, as I explained, that way it accommodates the terrain of the midbar, right, of the desert in which they're standing. Okay, let's go in here. Let me see what I can do here. Okay, so that's that's what it's talking about. Again, I can show you a picture if you like. One moment. Let's try here. The curtains. Yep. Do you see how you can see now the sockets? This is what Rashi's talking about. And this is one cubit. Okay. So, interestingly enough, so this distance would have had to been 10 cubits. And then I think you would have had, if this is 30 and this is hanging down, so in other words, that it's 32. I'm trying to think. Hmm, Trying to figure this out. So this would, yeah. So this would actually be, so this width here would be 1 cubit and 1 cubit here. And that's why it would only hang this much if my math is correct. Let me go
So,
back. Yeah, go ahead,
so
David.
for the extra cubit, is it actually like tucked in the socket, or
No, no, no. It only goes down that much because you've also got the width. Let me go here. See if I can find it. Let's see if this works.
because it's an extra cubit on each side, right?
Right there.
That's
Look at
the point.
this. This I'm saying. Okay, so this is 10 cubits, and then you've got the extra cubit on either side. So this is actually 12 cubits, right? So 12 cubits from 30 leaves you 28, correct? Right?
18.
18, sorry, right, 18. So if this is a height, if the tabernacle is a height of 10, thank you, 18, then that is going to hang down 9 cubits there, exposing 1 cubit to the bottom.
Oh, okay. So basically, it just comes up to the bottom of where the
Right, to
socket
the
is.
sockets.
Okay.
It leaves the sockets exposed.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no, no, no. I'm happy to do that. I'll show you the other picture here. This one, see, there it is. Do you see that?
Yep.
So that's good to know because now this is 1 cubit wide, this is 10 cubits wide, this is another cubit wide. So from this point to this point is 12. So that's why 12, 30 minus 12 is 18. So it's going to hang down 9 cubits on either side. Yep. All right. The pictures are so helpful, let me tell you. Trying to figure this out visually, unless you're somebody who's really great at visualizing, I can tell you that I could not. I would come to these parts of the Torah and I would be totally bewildered by it, and then all the details, etc., etc. Okay. All right. Let's take a look here. We are going to let me stop here for today. This is fairly straightforward there. Let me, of course, famous last words, you know that. Okay, and go here, and that's where we are. That's where we are. Okay, and I'll stop the share. Okay, all right, and I'll stop the recording too.